Welcome to this very special bonus episode of the KBB Review podcast. I'm Andy Davies, the editor of KBB Review, and you, I'm sure, remember that back in March we revealed all the winners for the KBB Review Retail and Design Awards 2026. And you can actually go back and listen to the two special episodes we did from the event itself. But today we're going to meet two of those winners, the Kitchen Retailer of the Year and the Bathroom Retailer of the Year. And we're going to find out just what makes them so special and hopefully pick up some ideas about how you could change or improve your own business. So here they are. In the Kitchen Retailer of the Year corner is Darren Walker from Laings in Inverurie. Hello, Darren.
Hi, Andy. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, mate, so welcome back for you. But our first timer in the Bathroom Retailer of the Year corner is Ben Setterfield from Bathroom and Kitchen 11 in Surrey. Hello, Ben.
Hello, Andy. Thank you very much for having me. Very excited.
Thank you for joining us, mate. So look, first of all, congratulations from me once again for getting these awards. It is genuinely a huge achievement, and I see the whole process from beginning to end, obviously. So it really is a big deal that you get these things. Now, Darren, as lots of people know, you've done this a few times now. So when you sat there at the table, is it still a big deal when your name gets read out?
Definitely. I would say, Andy, that certainly this last year had zero expectations because we've been very successful in previous years. So I thought, surely it's someone else's turn and we've done well. So I think it was probably more of a surprise, to be honest.
Yeah, there's a great photo of you with it looks like someone's just kicked you in the balls, quite frankly. You've just got such a look on your face.
I remember there being a slow motion pause for a minute till it sunk in, that's for sure.
Right, Ben, this is obviously your first time for this. So how was it for you? How was it sitting there and hearing it get read out?
It's kind of strange. We've been to quite a few ceremonies like that before. And I think for us, the fact that it was a team prize, it just meant so much more to me personally, because the whole team was there and it was just a great feeling. We've won other awards for design awards, but it's been like an individual that's won it. So to win like a team prize like that, where, to win this award really is a team effort. As a business owner, it just felt super rewarding. So yeah, it was a very, very exciting and very enjoyable day. And it's really given the team a massive lift.
Yeah, it's a collective celebration, isn't it? That's a great way of putting it. Now, what's brilliant getting you two on here together is that you've won the equivalent awards, and of course you both sell kitchens and you both sell bathrooms as well. That's the other slightly strange part of this. But you're very different businesses. Darren, you've been around for how many hundreds of years have you been there now?
I think it's 164.
Yeah, you haven't been in charge for all of that,
No,
have you?
No. Just a fraction.
And obviously, Ben, you're equally as accomplished but much smaller outfit that hasn't been around for anywhere near that length of time, have you?
No, I mean, we started the business in 2006 just as a small, install company doing bathrooms, and it got the first showroom in 2011. So yeah, we've been going 20 years now. But we've got a bit of way to go to catch up with Darren and Laings. But
let's just do a quick recap here for people who don't know. So let's start with you, Darren. Give us this very quick overview of Laings. Obviously, you've got to cover 160 odd years in a couple of sentences here. But the size of it, the target customers you have, the market position you're in, that kind of thing.
So we're based up in Aberdeenshire. So we're in the northeast of Scotland, although we can cover Scotland. So our target customers are private retail, trade, commercial, as in house builders, hotels, and other business-to-business clients like architects and some other business-to-business clients that we have. We've about 82 staff. 20 of those are employed installers, so we've our own fitting teams. And then we have our showroom in our warehouse. So we do bathrooms, kitchens, tiles, bedrooms, both privately and for commercial business.
So it is a considerable enterprise there, comparatively speaking. Give us the overview of Bathroom and Kitchen 11, Ben.
So we do wellness-inspired bathrooms and handmade kitchens. The kitchens are made in our own joinery shop. We specialise in the full end-to-end nature of the business, much like Darren, which is quite a big part of your business, I believe. But yeah, we only do the full supply and fit. So it's a very much project-managed end-to-end situation that we're in. We're by appointment. We've got 4 showrooms that are all in a row, 2 bathroom showrooms, 2 kitchen showrooms, but they're all as one. And we're by appointment, which is something we decided to do in COVID, which I know is a bit weird to a lot of people, but we're not a huge team. We're a team of 20. There's 6 of us in the office and the rest of the fitting teams. And yeah, we're by appointment, and customers seem to really appreciate that, because once they're actually through the door, they can get a sense of what we can offer them, and they come to us because they want that full experience end to end. They don't want to have to deal with separate suppliers and stuff. So yeah, that's where we fit in the market.
Now, one of the things that we stress a lot in these awards is the of the year bit, right? So when the judges go out, the judges are really briefed to focus on what you've done in the last 12 months. Because you can get a fantastic business, but perhaps in the last 12 months they haven't done as much, or they've just been consolidating things. But Darren, one of the things with Laings is you keep coming back here again and again and again, and you always pass the of the year test. So what have you done, do you think, in the last sort of 12 months or in the 12 months up to the awards that's really stood out?
I can understand why, it might be questioned what's been done in the last 12 months. So for the judges, we've started doing a timeline just to show the dates and where things fit in, because I felt that was important, because I can understand, right, what's in the last 12 months. So in the previous year, the year that was being judged, if you like, we launched a new concept in the showroom, which we called House of Laings, which we built 3 mini homes within the showroom, and each of them had a bit of a story behind them. So we built House of Laings 1, 2 and 3, and it was to show how our products can flow, not just the bathrooms and kitchens, but through living areas as well. That was a nice project for us, and that became our new television advert as well. So that was one of the key things that we done. We created a story. So like House of Laings 1 was targeted for a first-time buyer. So it was a smaller floor area on a budget, but on trend. House of Laings 2 was a larger floor area for a family with more storage. House of Laings 3 was for a downsizer because the kids have moved out, and so there was a lot of boxes to tick, but we took these ideas from customer feedback that we'd gotten, for self-builds and so on. So that was a chunky project that we launched at the start of last year. But we've got a lot of other things that we've done, from exhibitions and charity events and various things. Sometimes you think, like, what have we done in the last 12 months? But it's not until you record it all and look and you think, bloody hell, we actually did quite a lot. And it mounts up in the 12 months.
I hear that a lot, actually, from people entering awards. The process of doing an entry actually makes you look at your business in a completely different way, because a third party is viewing it. So, Ben, what about you? In this run-up to the awards, what have been the big standouts for you?
It's a difficult one, really, because I don't actually know exactly the reason why we won. We had the judge come in, and we sat and gone through it as a team and had a really long chat, but we've made a lot of improvements. We've invested really heavily in the showroom. Last year, we spent a lot of money on the bathroom showroom. We're currently launching a wellness space with kitchens being introduced into that to increase the size of our showroom space. Yeah, the list is endless, really. I think it's just for us, unlike Darren, obviously they're quite big things that we're not really at that scale to be able to do. But I just think it's the incremental things that we've put in place. We're always looking at the processes. How can we improve the customer experience? And it's just all those little marginal gains. And I think it just goes round in a cycle. Every year we just keep approaching how we're going to make things better. And I think the judges just picked up on the fact that we just really want to be the best in our game, and that we just really want to keep pushing the boundaries of design, quality of products, and just the team focus that we've got as well. I think the team atmosphere and the culture that we've got, I think that probably was quite a big reason why we won the award. We're not a huge team, but we're a very effective team for the size we are.
The lesson here, Darren, because obviously you're different businesses in terms of scale, but what's really coming across is that constant need to move forward. Whether it's 160 odd years or 20 years, the need to always be improving, always be moving forward, always looking at the next opportunity, always being ambitious, I suppose is the word. That's really important in longevity, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. I can hear a lot of similarities of what Ben's saying to what I would say about our business. Like every year, we're just always trying to improve our service. So we try and we measure everything. And every year, you're just trying to improve it a little bit and improve your service. And also, like what Ben said as well, I think the whole cradle to grave installation, supply and fit service is something that's exactly how our business runs as well, in the team and the culture and everything. So I think there's a lot of similarities there, and I think you have to keep trying to improve year on year, or that's what we certainly do. So we probably just always pick out the faults and what should be better, and we're just trying to improve,
Yeah, but that's the way to do it. Let's talk the tricky bits, Ben. The market isn't amazing right now for lots of people. How are you reading it? How is the market for you, and what's your overview of how it looks?
It's a really tricky one.
You know what? It's a good noise. That is a good noise. It sums it up.
I speak to a lot of other showrooms, friends in the industry, and we're all similar. I generally only speak to the ones that offer the same kind of service that we do, the smaller independents that offer the end-to-end. and all of us seem to be pretty buoyant. I know there are people struggling, but I just think it depends on the value proposition that you give to the clients, because there are clients out there that do want to spend money. I don't know if it's because we are at the higher end, perhaps, that kind of market isn't getting as affected as badly as maybe the supply-only outlets that maybe are competing against online retailers, which I guess is really competitive. So for me, I feel like things are going okay. People with money still seem to have money, and they still want to move their lives forward. They're not waiting. So from my personal perspective, I feel like the market feels quite buoyant. But yeah, I don't know what Darren thinks.
Well, it seems to me that you've lent into that premium bit a lot more over the last few years. You've really decided that that's your niche. That's a very strategic decision you've made to go, okay, that is us. That is who we are, and to not think about going outside your lane a bit. Would that be right?
Yeah, that would be absolutely true. And it's taken some brave decisions over the years. For example, we used to do a lot of supply only, and it was probably about 20% of our revenue. And we decided as a business that actually we're just not going to do that anymore. Although we're a showroom, it seems a bit weird not to do that, because obviously you've got all the products there, you've invested a lot. So yeah, we've really doubled down on being by appointment, offering that real kind of handheld care of the customer. Yeah, you're right. We have really doubled down on it, and it does seem to be paying dividends, because we can just focus all our energy on those clients that do want to spend that bit more. Whereas before, when we were trying to do bits of everything, we found that we were it was tougher. There was a lot of energy going into the wrong things. So now we're just putting our energy into the right things, and it definitely seems to be working for us.
How about you, Darren? How are you reading the market? As you said earlier, you operate in lots of different channels there. You've got lots of different pots of customers. How are you reading it all?
Really, really tough, to be honest. I mean, the commercial side was about 40% of our business up until about 2 to 3 years ago, well, 2.5 years ago, and that's when the mortgage prices doubled, remember? So it's been really tough since then on that side. But similar to Ben, we also do our supply and fit service for the mid to higher end market, and that's slightly more protected. So retail was all right last year. Commercial was tough. I think this year is going to be tougher. But also in our local market, it's quite tough just now, mainly because the energy sector is big in the northeast of Aberdeen, and it's been hit hard with this windfall tax. So that's hitting us at the moment. But at the same time, we're ticking away. We're just marginally down on last year, not by much. So at the moment, we're working away. But I think the media and everything puts an awful lot of, it's confidence, isn't it, as well?
I always think no one had heard of the Strait of Hormuz till about 2 weeks ago, and now everyone thinks it's the most important thing in the world.
Yeah.
So look, what are you? You're a very strategic guy. You measure lots of things. What strategically are you doing about that? How are you shifting and changing to monitor that?
So last week we finished another refurbishment in another side of the business in our direct line showroom. So that's more for the low to mid price rather than the mid to high, because we just done the house of Laings. So we're having more of a conscious effort of the more mid market, and we've increased our trade accounts to offset against the downfall in commercial business. We're doing a lot of things, Andy. We've opened a few new doors on the commercial side. We've got some new customers slightly further afield, within a couple of hours radius. So we've got a few things happening, and just always trying to improve our service.
Always moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so you're both business owners, obviously, and I'm always curious to know what business owners measure, or what they monitor, what are the key numbers that they look at, because obviously there's revenue, right? Obviously there's profit and margin, that kind of thing. But what are the real numbers that you use to, in your own head, work out how your business is going? Is it footfall? Is it conversions? Ben, what are the numbers that you watch?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of different numbers that we watch rigorously. I'm kind of a numbers man. I'm a bit obsessed about it a lot, but I'm glad I do in a way. I have had a lot of help with a business coach that I've been working with for 8 years on that. But I mean, for me, obviously, gross margin is absolutely key. I think it's one of the most important numbers that your business has, in my view, controlling the gross margin. And obviously that goes in line with the overhead. So then you make a decent net profit. But inquiry volume is probably one of the most important, because that absolutely translates to, when we look at our conversion rate from inquiry to sale, those kind of figures, that stays pretty stable. So the more inquiries we get, the more business we're going to get. So we really doubled down on that exact number. So we're putting a lot more effort into marketing, because it is quieter out there for sure, definitely. So we've invested a lot more into marketing. But yeah, that would be one of the big things. And also lead sources, that's a number that I love to look at every year. Last year, we ran at a 72%, and the lead source was actually referral and recommended or returning client. So you think all that work that you're putting into all these leads, and actually a lot of it's actually coming from referred and returning clients. So it's just like, how much money do I actually put into marketing? So we've actually doubled down on trying to get more exposed to our existing client base, which we kind of probably didn't do so much before, because we just thought, well, they know we're here.
We measure everything similar, Ben, probably too much. Everything from footfall, leads, workload every week, how much workload everyone's got. Sales and margins key, isn't it? The sales orders, the margin. We also measure error rate. So we're trying to see that coming down year on year, and that's worked really well the last 3 years. We've really seen it came down, which obviously props up the margin. Client feedback, we've started scoring our client feedback again just to see if we can improve it each year. But every team within the business, we've got a measuring tool to see whether it's, how many deliveries or, error rates with suppliers and these kind of things. So we're measuring all that, how many bathrooms fitted a month, all these kind of things.
That's so interesting, because I've been doing this a long time now, as you can tell looking at me. And one of the things I've seen change over the years with independent retailers is this focus on the numbers. Way back in the day, it would all be in people's heads a bit. And particularly the smaller businesses that were like 2 or 3, or the husband and wife or whatever it was, it would all be very much in their head, and they would have their own interpretations of what was going on. Whereas what I've seen in the last 10 years probably is this idea that you should be measuring everything. You should have numbers and targets, and you should be able to look at how your business is doing very dispassionately. So it's great to hear you guys talking about it so precisely, because I think that's exactly what should be happening.
You can't improve it if you don't measure it. There's a balance of overkill as well, but yeah.
I agree with Darren on that. I think you can't make any informed business decisions based on emotion. You can make really, really good decisions on things if you've got the data there to look at and go, well, okay, that's what that's doing. How can we improve that by 3%? Whereas if you're just doing it on emotion, you're never going to get anywhere. So yeah, the numbers are so important.
Gut feeling is important, I think, if you're an experienced business person, but you've got to back that up with some evidence, haven't you? That's how it works. Let's go forward a bit. So we talked about the current market, but where are the biggest opportunities for you, Ben, do you think, over the next 5 years or so? Where are you heading?
I think for us, the bathroom business, I feel, is really well established now. We've got a good foothold in the area that we operate. People know about us. For me, it's the kitchen side of the business. That's been going for about 4 years now, but I still feel like we've only just started it. There's just so much that we can achieve with that business. We're trying to implement better processes for it. The customer wouldn't know it because they get a great job, but internally we're like, it's all a bit hectic at certain stages. But yeah, just really doubling down on the kitchen side of the business without losing sight of what we're doing in the bathroom business. But yeah, just pushing forward with that is my biggest driver really for at least next 2 years.
And say Alan Sugar turned up at your showroom and offered to give you a big chunk of money, where would you spend it?
On a good holiday? No, it would probably be invested in...
It's a good question, isn't it, you see? It's a good question.
It is a good question. You caught me. Right now we're spending a lot of money, refurbishing a whole showroom with a wellness suite and all handmade kitchen joinery. So a large chunk of it would go towards that. But otherwise, it would just be reinvesting in the staff, the training, and probably a bit more marketing at the moment, the way things are. Just improving our brand in general. I think everything else we do so well. It's just, those few areas.
Would you look at another showroom at some point?
Me personally, I don't have any desire to have another showroom. I'm absolutely happy with what we do. For me, it's just about being the best that we possibly can be. And I think if I got another showroom, I'd just find it hugely distracting. I think the service would get a little bit diluted. This is just on a personal level. I'm happy doing what I'm doing. And it scares me a bit to have another showroom. I hear of so many other friends that have had multiple showrooms and they seem to make less money than when they just got one. So it's more for me, it's just about, I just want to be the best in our game. And I think the only way I'm going to be able to do that is by keeping it at the level that we're at. I'm only me on my own. I don't have other directors or managing directors. So it's just me doing it with my team. So I'm just very comfortable in the situation we're in and just continually improving what we're doing.
So what about you, Darren? Projecting forward, I'm sure you have a whole folder somewhere that has 5-year projections in it. But what's in it?
So we've got a lot of smaller scale ideas and things that maybe aren't worth mentioning, but we have seen a natural increase in bedrooms actually last year. It's been more of a natural increase. Maybe customers, we've done their bathroom, we've done their kitchen. Can you do our bedroom? Because I don't think we're known for bedrooms so much. It's always just a lower percentage of the KBB industry, I find, but we just feel we've got an area there that we could grow. As I say, we've got customer demand there already, so I think we'll be looking at our bedroom area. We've already got a dedicated bedroom area, but that might be one of the next things that we look at.
And if that truck of money pulled up outside of your showroom, where would you spend it?
Probably, as well as the staff and the team, technology. I think our systems could be better, and just the speed that technology is going with AI and all the other stuff, I think it would be there. I'm just not 100% sure of what, but our system could be slicker, definitely.
Part of the money would have to be on someone to come and show you how to do it, I suppose.
100%.
Yeah.
That's right.
So look, loads of things are changing, and this market's changing a lot. Where do you think the role of independence is in the future in general, Ben? Do you think it's going to become a sort of more important, stronger role, but probably at a higher premium? Or do you think there's a sort of vulnerability about it as technology moves forward? What do you think?
I don't think there's any vulnerability to it whatsoever, because there are clients that want to come to a showroom and to have the safety of a showroom and the backup of a showroom. And I just think with AI, I think like Darren, I mean, it's such a grey area. I just don't know where that's going to take us. But all I feel like it will allow us to do is that we can grow the business, and we may not have to actually invest a huge amount more in additional staff. So the staff that we've got, potentially it might actually allow us to leverage up to another 1 million or 2 million in revenue without actually employing any more staff in the office. We would need more fitting teams. So for me, my positive head is saying this could be a great opportunity for the business, but I don't know enough about it because it's such a grey area. It's something that we're looking into at the moment, but how it's going to be used for us to grow, I don't know. But yeah, I don't feel any concern about independence being at risk, because AI can't fit bathrooms or kitchens, and people want people.
Yeah, a big thing for us, I know COVID was a while ago, but in our Laings showroom, no one wanted the virtual appointments. We got loads of inquiries and everyone said, well, just wait till your showroom opens. And then, of course, we were flooded. But I thought that was I know it was a few years ago now, but that was a very positive message for the showroom. And people definitely buy from people. So I think having a good, strong, passionate team, experienced team is crucial. And independence, you're in control of your own service. If you're always improving the service, you get that recommendations that you mentioned, Ben. So I think that's all really strong. I think the vulnerable bit is the rising costs and just making it sustainable and profitable when costs just keep going up and up and up. So that's probably the vulnerable bit, I would say.
So look, I'm going to talk about you guys now as opposed to the business. And this is the bit you're going to hate, because you're going to tell me that it's not all about you. But for this part of it, it is all about you. So I'm going to start with you, Ben. You've chosen a life here. You've chosen to run your own business. You've chosen not to work for anybody else. And that is a brave decision, no matter when you made it, whether it's a family business or you've set the business up. What part of this excites you? Why do you do this? What is the personal gain you get from it?
The reason I started the business was because I love good design. I'm not a designer myself, but I appreciate good design. And I just really like the idea of creating something that, I want it to be faultless. I really do. And it's, as Darren would know, it's impossible to be completely faultless. You can have the best will in the world, but for me, it's just that drive to be the very best that we can possibly be. And that's never ending. The industry is changing at such a fast pace. So you're always kept on your toes. And I just think, for me, it's just about building a brand and a business that people just look at and go, why would I not come to you? That's what gets me up in the morning. Obviously, making money is pretty important, is quite up there. I've got a wife and 2 kids. There's a drive to make money, but also really genuinely what underpins all of that is just the continual pursuit of just being as good as we possibly can be. And it's a daily thing, it's just every single day we're just looking at how we can improve. So yeah, and I just really enjoy it.
I imagine you would say something similar, Darren, but for you, you're a custodian of something here, aren't you? You're the current incumbent of that seat. So there must be a certain impetus for you to see the next 160 odd years of the company forward as well.
Yeah, I guess I don't know any different. I started working for the company when I was about 11 in the store, and then served my time as a plumber, and I've worked in different areas of the business. So I've kind of, it's not as if I never started it. My dad and my uncles and everything, they got Laings in the position it was in. So myself and my colleagues, we're more just trying to keep improving and just retain that position. But what excites me is you have a good month of sales, retail sales, or you win a new tender, a new commercial tender is won. The awards, of course. Reading customer feedback is great. So I read all our customer feedback, and every feedback form you get, they'll be mentioning names of designers and tradesmen, and that's really, really rewarding. So, as well as the keeping the company profitable, all these things really mean a lot. And same as Ben, we just want to be the best at what we can be in every part of the business, from greeting the customer when they come in, to the design, to the quality of the installation, the communication with the customer. You just want all these boxes ticked and a happy customer at the end of the day. And that's really rewarding.
Okay, so let's imagine, Ben, that I've just set up a showroom. I'm 12 months in, still trying to find my feet. What would, as a retailer of the year, what would be your advice to me of how to move forward? What advice would you give to a retailer who wants to grow and be the kind of success that you have?
I don't want to give all my trade secrets away. I think for me, the single biggest thing that I learned, and it took me quite a few years to learn this, having, I've started the business from scratch. I had no business experience really. Knowing your numbers and being really, really aware of what your gross margin needs to be in order to cover your overhead. Because we started the showroom, we were just discounting products and just not making the margin that we wanted to make. So from my point of view, I think getting your numbers right, having a good bookkeeper, getting your processes right for all the invoicing and just, all that kind of side of things. That would be one of the most important things. I mean, obviously there's so many other important things to consider, having good install teams, good designers, all that kind of stuff. But there's a few basic bits that I got quite wrong to start with that I learned the hard way. And I think that would be something that I would absolutely tell to any new entrepreneur looking to set up a showroom. I think it's the margin, making sure that you're aware of your margin and your overhead, because otherwise what's the point in doing any of it really?
I think there'll be an awful lot of people listening to that nodding along. What about you, Darren? What would be your advice, do you think?
Just exactly the same. Keeping a close eye on the numbers, regular, and service, always trying to improve your service, listening to your customers, keep trying to improve.
It's very easy to fall in love with the design, I think, sometimes, with that side of a business like this. It's very easy to fall in love with the aesthetics and lose track of the boring bit, which is the numbers.
Yeah.
You've absolutely hit a nail on the head there, Ben, completely with that. I think that is a mistake an awful lot of people make. We could talk about this for hours, couldn't we? But the clock's beaten us. But thank you to you both. Congratulations to you again on an amazing year and an amazing win. I'm sure we'll see you again and again at the awards. But remember, it's of the year. It's always keep focused on the of the year bit. Thank you very much, chaps. Thanks for your time.
Thanks, Andrew. Thank you very much, Andrew. Really good fun.
You can't